Hey friends, Sean from Draft Therapy here. On today's review for you, I must have made a wrong turn somewhere because here's Founder's Backwoods Bastard. Backwoods Bastard is an 11.2% bourbon barrel-aged Scotch Ale from Founders Brewing Company in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So this is the fifth release of 6 in Founders Barrel Age series, and each one so far has been a different style. So let's just run through them real quick. The first was Frootwood, a cherry ale. Next was KBS, an imperial stout. Then Doom, an IPA. And DKML, which was a malt liquor. That was the last one. And this one here is Backwoods Bastard, number 5, a Scotch ale. Now, Founders hasn't confirmed yet what the final barrel-aged release will be this year, but most people are speculating it'll be CBS or Canadian Breakfast Stout, which was last released in 2014. So we'll have to wait and see what Founders says. They say that it will be released in December, so we don't have too much longer this year to wait, and we'll see what it is. Hopefully it's CBS. If not, maybe it'll be something brand new. So I remember about 10 years back when I didn't even know that there was such a thing as limited releases of craft beer. I just thought they released them when they made them. And I got Backwoods Bastard at a local beer store, and I was blown away. It was the first time I'd had anything like this. It was a time when aging beer in bourbon barrels was really pretty rare, and now it seems like almost everything has a bourbon barrel variant, so it's just kind of a odd thing to think about. The next year I picked up 2 4-packs, and I didn't even finish them, and I have no idea what happened to them. I don't even want to think about it, to be honest. It's probably one of my biggest beer regrets, and now I think to myself, man, if I would have kept those, I could have put them in my basement, and they'd still be good right now. I could be comparing it to this year's. So let's take a look at this beer. Let's take a look at the label, and we'll get down to business. This, on the back here, it has the date, the brewed date. This was brewed on September 27, 2017. It is an 11.2%, beer, as I mentioned earlier. All these barrel-aged series beers so far have had this really nice matte label. It's not a shiny label. It has this really cool kind of metallic embossing around the edge. And I'm wearing my Backwoods Bastard shirt. It should match up pretty closely to what the actual bottle looks like. The label, it's this old dude with a axe in his hand, and he looks like he's got his eyes are all whited out, so he looks like he's been drinking some moonshine. Maybe the cataracts helped with his blindness a little bit, but yeah, so that's the label. We'll go ahead and open this up. I'm going to get my nice tulip glass here and find my bottle opener. And the bottle cap on all these so far, all the barrel-aged releases have been this gold Founders bottle cap. And on the label, it just says, Backwoods Bastard, ale aged in oak bourbon barrels, And it says, expect lovely warm smells of single malt Scotch, oaky bourbon barrel smoke, sweet caramel, and roasted malts, a bit of earthy spice, and a scintilla of dark fruit. It's a kickback sipper made to excite the palate. And I'll be the judge of that. So let's open this up. And I can smell it immediately after opening this up. Oh, and on the inside, it just has the barrel-aged little logo. Again, same as every Founders barrel-aged beer so far. Let's give it a smell. You can smell the bourbon. It smells like a Scotch ale. Kind of has a little bit of a spiciness to it. It smells good. It smells sweet. Bourbon kind of sweetness to it. It's nice and dark. Has a nice bit of a head to it. Not too much. See the nice carbonation on it. Nice big bubbles on the top here. Some really tiny small ones, some medium-sized ones. But overall, it's not much of a head, but it's got a nice head regardless, of how small it is. And that is really kind of purplish. If I hold it up to the light, it's got like a brownish kind of purplish color to it, almost like a reddish color. I smell the bourbon again right out of the gate. Right after I opened it, I smelled that same bourbon. It's good. Nice Scotch kind of scent on the back end to it too as well. Yeah, I mean, this is this kind of smell I fell in love with however many years ago that it was. I had that 4-pack from way back when. So let's give it a taste. So this has more of a Scotch ale kick to it. I mean, it is a Scotch ale. It has that kind of spiciness. The bourbon kind of adds a little bit of sweetness to it. It's really smooth. Nice mouthfeel. Evenly carb, not overly carb, not undercarb. It's not syrupy. It's not carb, carb so little that it tastes syrupy. But yeah, it's got a nice complexity to it. It is like a Scotch ale. It's spicy. It's got those spicy notes to it, kind of peppery. So this is a really good example of a Scotch ale. It's the bourbon barrel aged part of it, the BBA part of it. It's not overdone. It's not overpowering. It's got it has all the features of a regular Scotch ale. Maltiness right up at the very front. I mean, it's like so minute. You get it. You get the spiciness almost immediately after it. But it's a really good example of just a BBA, a bourbon barrel aged Scotch, Scotch ale. It's not overpowered by the bourbon. It's not overpowered by the sweetness. You get so much more of the Scotch ale character out of it, the maltiness, the caramel, the spiciness, and then you just get the added sweetness of the bourbon barrel aging, which is just it's really nice. A lot of places when they do BBA, it's heavy-handed. You get a lot of that bourbon up front. It just tastes like you're drinking bourbon that's kind of like, that's got a beer additive flavor to it, but this isn't like that. You're getting that Scotch ale fullness, like I said, maltiness. It's got nice caramel flavoring. It's got that spiciness, and then it has that added sweetness at the end. It's got that added sweetness at the end that just ties it all together. And that's what's great about, founders. They really know what they're doing, obviously. Some people, might not have liked Doom. They didn't like the BBA IPA version they were going with. They might not have liked DKML because they're not big into malt liquors. The malt liquor part of it turned them off. KBS, most people agree that KBS is pretty good. Some people say that, certain years aren't as good as other years, but it's always pretty consistently good. And I would say Backwoods Bastard is the same way. Consistently, it's got that Scotch ale start. It's got the Scotch ale undertone. It just has a slight, veneer of bourbon barrel aging to it that just kind of ties it all together. And you can't lose with Backwoods Bastard from Founders if you're into Scotch ale. So, all right, friends, that is Backwoods Bastard from Founders Brewing. Do you have any other thoughts of what the 6th release in Founders Barrel Age series is going to be? Is it going to be CBS? Is it going to be something we aren't thinking of that's going to come out of left field? I don't know. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below this video. And while you're down there, why don't you like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends? Don't keep all this beer goodness to yourselves. Come on, everybody else, they want to hear about this too, all your friends that are into beer. Let them know too. You can also find links in the description of this video to my Facebook page, my Instagram, and my blog at drafttherapy.com. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by, and remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries, and don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for watching. Cheers.